Very good morning here on the 24th of July 2020. Rishi Patel, co-founder, Master of the Markets, the Elite Traders Conference and the Traders Open Day. It is the end of week market update. Here at Master of the Markets, we review the entire market and our performance for the week so far. This week, I want to talk about the second part in a two-part video series, which is on trend identification. Last week, I spoke about how and when the trend changes. And so we looked at starting from the highest or lowest point of a chart. This is in the current uptrend here at this point in time. We move lower here, and this is still in an upward trend up until the point you get to this confirmed high just here. At that point in time, we said that this became a no trend phase. And the reason for that is because you have a lower high in an already established upward trend. So at that point in time, that became a lower high, and then this continued to move on as a no trend phase up until the point we got to actually here, because this bar has actually clipped the low of the previous swing low, and at that point in time we actually established a downward trend, right? So all of this part of the move was actually a downward trend. This part in gray just here was all no trend. So we started in an uptrend, we went to a no trend phase when we had this lower high kicking into the market just here, and then it became a downtrend as the low of this bar was broken. This established at that point in time, this established a lower low. Then we talked about the fact that again we had a downward trend that was established, and again here this also became no trend once again. This is the compression phase, so we're seeing lots of trend changes taking place at this time, and this is typical and indicative of where the market is at the moment. It has become very difficult to establish any clear trends, and that's why the need for understanding the exact trend we're in at any given time is very important. Of course, we teach here at Master the Markets. So let's go straight into what happened here when you get this higher low kicking into the market in an established downward trend. Again, it becomes a no trend phase until this point is crossed once again. The low of this bar is broken here. And if you want to go and reference the chart that I'm looking at, we're actually looking at the dollar index at this time. So you can go and reference this exact chart. I wanted to use this because it has a lot of swing highs and swing lows in a short space of time that are included inside of it. So then we go on to establishing a downward trend by the fact that this previous low is broken just here, and then that becomes a downward trend for quite a while. So all of this phase, and for those of you looking at the market on an intraday basis, again, this is particularly important because you can use this all as an opportunity to get involved with the market short during these intraday phases. So once you establish the trend in a quantified, reproducible, scalable way on the daily, you can then, of course, drill down to a smaller time frame. And if you so choose to, we don't trade smaller time frames here at Master Markets. We trade the daily because it's nice and relaxed. It gives great lifestyle options, 15 minutes a day worth of management. But if you do trade the market intraday, then this, of course, does give you options by way of looking at the trend on a higher time frame and then drilling down to a lower time frame. And then of course you can establish this methodology on any time frame. It doesn't matter, because we're using pure price and the nature of the smart money indicator is there are no redraws. You can establish the trend using this understanding and logic on any time frame, any market in the world. It's not relevant what the market is or what the time frame is, because we're using pure price to trade. Huge advantage of pure price action trading just there. Let's go through this then. So we continue to move through, and then you can see again, this actually, for this reason, actually, this is not a good example on this chart because there's a small error just here. There's actually no confirmed high there. There's actually no confirmed low there as well. The next high is actually this one, and I have pointed this out to the live trading room as well in the past so that everyone's clear. And then so you see you have the continuation move on the downward trend, and this continues its downward trend, and up until today dollar index has been in a downward trend. So from this day here, which was all the 25th of May until now, This isn't a quantified, clean, clear downward trend. And we spoke about these variations in trend last week and we started it. And what I wanted to talk about this week was what happens when we get into these compression phases. So you can see here that we have an established lower high in an upward trend. And when you get to a lower high in an established upward trend, what happens in essence is you are looking at the range from the current swing to the previous swing, which is here. So you can see here is where the previous swing is. Here is where the current swing is. This is the range of that. Now, if you look at the previous range from this low here to this high just here, then you will establish that this was the range of that move. Now, what I want to show you here today, which is important to understanding our style of trading, is not our style of trading, but it's important to understand trend variations here at Master the Markets. And specifically this week, I want to talk to you about variation 2 and variation 3 trend phases. And here you can see that what we've got in essence here is what we call a single market compression. Now, if I just take these two yellow ranges and I just map them here on just a clear screen, from this point here, this is the first range, and then this one here, you can see that that's roughly what that looks like. And what you can see here, in fact, let me draw this a little bit more accurately for my own peace of mind. So in fact, that is probably coming in around something like that. That's probably a bit more accurate in terms of scale. So what you've got here is a range that is within the previous range. And I mean, if we took away the range markers, which is these ones up here, then what we would be left with actually is this and this. And this should resemble a familiar bar pattern, because actually what this is an insider bar. And insider bars have only a 10% chance of forming in the market. Maybe in a future market update, I'll actually show you some key statistics behind different bar patterns. Let me write that down for my own reference so that I can show you that, because the bar patterns and their probabilities are interesting to verify, and you shouldn't take my word for this. You should actually see the key stats. So inside bars actually only have a 10% chance of forming, and that is the same. We call this, when we have an inside compression like this, single market compression, we call that variation 2 or single market compression, and it only has a 10% probability of formulating. So that is important to understand just there. Then we move on to this actually, which is an extended market compression, which is actually what we call an EMC. So take a look here. We looked at this range. Now we've got another range. Take a look at this. This range is within this prior range as well. So now what we have is this. Then we have this. Then we have this. And you can see that this is another compression within a previous compression within a previous compression. In essence, on a chart, it would look like this. It would be a double insider bar. And again, I believe the probability of this is extremely slim. I think it's even less than 2%, but I will verify this for you on a future market update where you can see that. And so the probability of an EMC is generally very, very low. I believe it is less than 2%. So for this to happen, it's basically indicative of the fact that there is a larger move up and coming in the future. This is what this indication is telling us. And a lot of people call these things like symmetrical triangles, and I've heard all of these different things, but unfortunately no one has really ever quantified it to this level of detail before. And so that's what we wanted to do today. So we've gone over variation 2 and variation 3, the single market compression and the extended market compression. Again, you don't have to use the smart money indicator. Use a quantified tool to work out your swing highs and lows and start to observe these trends in real time and see how they react once you get the breakout. Good. I want to move on to the update for the week. The key learning is done in terms of trend variations part 2. What I want to talk about is our performance for the week. So performance for the week has been net positive this week. We have ended up with a small profit. The live trading room carrying the bulk of that this week with plus 1.59% from the live trading room, ending up with a net overall upside of 0.29% of upside. Some of the highlight trades that we can look at just there. The first one was a Money Bars 2.0 trade here. I believe it was, yes, this one on the Euro US dollar. So let's just clear off some of these lines. Let's get rid of this line here as well. Okay, so here was the first trade that we took on the Euro US dollar. This was a Money Bars 2.0 opportunity to trade the market short. We entered on the low of this bar just here. Our premise was that this bar would become the turning point in the market, just like this one has in the past. You can see that that didn't happen. The price proceeded on higher. So we actually entered the market short on the low of the PSWB. Our initial stop was on the high of the PSWB. Fortunately, we were able to get a trail into the market on the high of this bar, which is a reversal primary. And of course, we were taken out of the market at that time as the market continued to move higher. So minus 0.88% loss on that particular opportunity just there. Let's take a quick look at two other trades that we've taken this week as well in the live trading, which have given us the overall upside. The first one was on the dollar Swiss franc. So you can see here quite clearly cash in 4.0 strategy setup. There's the confirmation bar. We shorted that on the close just there. Our target was on that green line. That gave us, I believe it was around 1.12% of upside, if memory serves, wiping out the total loss from the money bars trade and taking us into profit as well. And then the second trade, third trade of the week here on the live trading room as well, was, let's take a quick look. Yes, of course, it was on GBP USD. So GBP USD, you can see here, we can verify these trades, so I don't need to remember which trades they were. Here you can see the dollar, pound dollar and dollar Swiss were both the trades that we took this this week here on the live trading room. And again, looking at this, you can see we entered the market long on the close of this bar. We took profit on the yellow line, where the market hit target on the first bar itself, which was ideal for us, giving us a net profit on both trade opportunities for positive positive 2.47 on the cash in 4.0 this week. So really strong week for cash in 4.0, clawing back some of the losses that were incurred in the early part of July. Taking it to pretty much net flat for the month, which is really, really solid, really strong position for us to be in. Just two profitable trades coming in the last couple of days, wiping up pretty much all the losses that were incurred in the whole month. So it's really, really good. I gave a stronger analysis on this on the live trading room as well. So that's it in terms of performance for this week. We also took some opportunities in the elite room as well. As you know, you're trading the Prior Runners elite strategy and the Prior Runners OE, and a couple of other interesting strategies which we've rolled out recently, such as compound patterns, things you really want to get involved with. Really, really solid patterns, very, very interesting to learn and trade. So amazing principles being taught here at Master the Markets, being coupled by profitable trading, giving us net profit overall this week of 0.29%. Take a quick look at the overall market. Euro dollar, you can see, is continuing to progress higher. Open equity is probably now becoming extinguished at this point in time. If you look at where this market has already reached, we know that 45% of moves, 55% of moves reach 3 ATR10. In this case, 200, which is this level here. This market has already moved to more than 6 ATR10, so telling me that the open equity is to a large extent extinguished on this side. Remember, we can quantify all of that as well as we have all of it research backed. Let's go to dollar Swiss. Dollar Swiss, you can see here that we have downside here. On this particular move, this is happening at this time. Open equity currently being established here on this top to bottom move. 148 pips is 3 ATR10, which is already reached on this bar just here. So now we are exceeding 3 ATR10 and moving forward. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 trending bars in this move so far. So again, a very strong downward trend at this time. Probably looking at upcoming reversal point at some stage. Of course, if we get those signals for that through the trading room, we will look to get involved. Pound dollar hasn't really, it's been an interesting set of patterns recently. We took it long for profit on cash in 4.0. It's accumulating around this point here. It's broken the high of prime -1. So we may get a money bar setup of some type here formulating in the near future. So be on the lookout for that. Dollar Japanese yen, not too much going on just here at this time. Um, we've just had a breakout of this key prime -1. This is a level that we were looking at with some interest here in the trading room. We've had a breakout of that level just there. So you can see, again, importantly, that that has now, because that's broken that level, we'll now look for a new primary setup to take that long, and that could easily qualify for a money bars 3.0 prior runs. Be on the lookout for that. Aussie dollar, this is a current opportunity of interest for us. We're actually short on three different positions in the live trading room on Aussie dollar. We took the first position on the low of the PSWB. The second position we opened last night on the close of the primary, and we're still running that short. So tonight there's a chance that we could close one of those three positions. If all things stay equal, we could look to close one of those positions. We'll update you, of course, in the live trading room later on in the day. That's pretty much it from me at this time. We're looking with interest at the dollar index, especially on Brent. I'm still monitoring this level here. Still has not been broken. Confirmed swing high still has not taken place. So keep a lookout for that. That's a gap that we are due to close. And I don't know if it will happen on this move in the next few days or the timing. But certainly I'm watching that level with interest. It's pretty much it from me in terms of the update for the week. Look forward to speaking to you all soon. Until the next time, stay disciplined, follow your trading plan, keep trading like a master. Bye for now.